Feeding your mind every day is one of the greatest disciplines you can ever develop, because your mind is the foundation upon which the rest of your life is built. What you allow into your mind shapes your thoughts, and your thoughts shape your actions, and your actions shape your destiny. If you want to change the direction of your life, you must first change the direction of your mind. Too often, people wake up and fill their heads with noise, news that discourages them, gossip that distracts them, or entertainment that wastes precious hours. And then they wonder why life feels stagnant, why progress is slow, why opportunities seem out of reach. The truth is simple: if you put junk in, you will get junk out. If you put wisdom in, you will get wisdom out. Your mind is like a garden. If you plant weeds, you can't expect roses to grow. Every day presents you with a choice. You can feed your mind with negativity, or you can feed it with knowledge, wisdom, and inspiration. Reading just 10 to 15 pages of a good book daily might not seem like much, but compound that over a year, and you will have absorbed the wisdom of multiple great minds. Listening to an empowering audio program, watching a thoughtful lecture, or writing down ideas that stretch your thinking can spark breakthroughs you never imagined possible. It isn't about how much time you spend. It's about consistency. Small daily inputs of quality information lead to big shifts in perspective over time. Think of the people you admire most. Leaders, thinkers, creators. They didn't stumble upon wisdom by accident. They deliberately fed their minds with ideas that expanded their vision of what was possible. They surrounded themselves with the voices of those who had already achieved success and modeled their thinking patterns. The world will happily fill your mind with distractions, but greatness comes when you decide to filter carefully and choose what truly serves you. When you begin to feed your mind every day, something remarkable happens. You start to notice opportunities where before you only saw obstacles. A single idea from a book or a sentence from a mentor might be the very thing that helps you solve a challenge you've been struggling with for years. Ideas are like seeds, and the more you plant, the more your life will flourish. Without new information, without new perspectives, you remain stuck in the same old cycles, repeating the same old patterns. With fresh input, you gain the power to break free and design a new future. Feeding your mind also builds confidence. When you know more, you feel more capable of taking on challenges. Confidence is not built on empty motivation, but on the quiet certainty that comes from preparation and knowledge. Each day you invest in your mind is like putting money in the bank. The compound interest of wisdom pays dividends in every area of life: your career, your health, your relationships, and your finances. It's also important to recognize that feeding your mind is not only about adding information, but also about guarding against negativity. Be careful about what you expose yourself to. Too much idle scrolling, mindless television, or negative conversation can poison the well of your thinking. Protect your mind as you would protect your most valuable asset, because that's exactly what it is. At the end of the day, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your thoughts. And the quality of your thoughts is determined by what you feed your mind with. If you want to rise higher, think bigger, and live better, make it a daily habit to nourish your mind with wisdom, knowledge, and inspiration. One good idea can change your future, but only if you are intentional enough to go looking for it every single day. Taking care of your body is not a luxury, it is a responsibility. It is the foundation that everything else in your life rests upon. You can have the greatest ideas, the biggest dreams, and the clearest vision, but without the energy and strength to pursue them, they remain locked inside of you. Your body is the vehicle that carries you through life, and how well you maintain it determines how far you can go. Too many people treat their health as an afterthought, believing they can neglect it now and deal with it later. But later often comes in the form of sickness, fatigue, or limitations that rob you of the ability to live fully. If you want to change your life, you must begin by respecting and nurturing the body you've been given. When you rise in the morning, the choices you make about what you eat, how you move, and how you rest all compound into the quality of your future. Food is not just fuel, it is information for your body. It tells your cells whether to build energy, repair, or break down. Every meal is a chance to strengthen yourself or weaken yourself. Too much sugar, too much processed food, and too much neglect weigh you down, not just physically, but mentally. A tired, sluggish body produces tired, sluggish thoughts. But when you feed yourself with nourishment, fresh foods, water, balanced meals, you give your body the tools it needs to energize your day. Movement is another vital key. You don't need to be a professional athlete to take care of your body, but you do need to stay active. Exercise is not punishment. It is a gift to yourself. It clears your mind, sharpens your focus, and fills you with vitality. A simple walk, a stretch, a daily workout. These small investments build stamina, strength, and resilience. Every drop of sweat is a declaration that you are choosing life, that you are choosing to honor the body that carries your dreams. Energy is created, not given, and movement is one of the best ways to generate it. Rest is equally important. In a world that glorifies being busy, people often forget the value of sleep and recovery. But your body repairs itself when you rest. Muscles rebuild, the mind resets, and energy is restored. Skipping rest may give you a temporary illusion of productivity, but over time it robs you of clarity, patience, and longevity. Success is not about how little you can sleep, but how wisely you balance action with restoration. A well-rested body is a sharp mind, and a sharp mind makes better decisions. Your body is not separate from your goals. It is the foundation that allows you to pursue them. Think about it: how much more productive, focused, and creative are you when you feel energized and healthy? Compare that to the days when you are tired, sick, or drained. Your health multiplies or diminishes every effort you make. With strong health, even the biggest goals feel achievable. Without it, even small tasks feel overwhelming. Caring for your body also sends a message to yourself that you value your life. Discipline in health creates discipline in other areas. When you push yourself to exercise when you don't feel like it, you build the habit of following through. When you choose the healthy option over the easy option, you remind yourself that your future is worth more than temporary comfort. These small acts of self-respect ripple into confidence and consistency in every other area of your life. At the end of it all, remember this: you can buy success, you can buy opportunities, but you cannot buy a new body. You only get one. Take care of it now, and it will take care of you later. Strong health doesn't just add years to your life. It adds life to your years. If you want the strength to chase big dreams, if you want the stamina to handle challenges, if you want the energy to truly live, then treat your body as the priceless asset it is. Without health, wealth loses its meaning. With health, everything else becomes possible. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces you can cultivate in your life, yet it is so often overlooked. Most people are waiting for something extraordinary to happen before they feel thankful. They think they'll be grateful when they get the promotion, when the money comes in, when they buy the house, when they achieve the goal. But gratitude doesn't work that way. Gratitude is not about waiting for big moments. It's about recognizing the blessings that are already present, right where you are. The secret is this: the more you practice gratitude, the more you will have to be grateful for. When you start each day by noticing what's good instead of what's missing, your whole perspective shifts. A grateful heart sees opportunities where others see problems. It notices beauty in small things: a sunrise, a kind word, a meal on the table. Gratitude transforms ordinary days into extraordinary ones because it teaches you to focus on what is working rather than what isn't. You might not control every circumstance, but you can always control how you see it. Gratitude is the lens that makes even challenges bearable, because it allows you to look for the lesson and the hidden blessing. The truth is, complaining is easy. Anyone can focus on what's wrong, what's unfair, or what's lacking. But what you focus on expands. If you constantly complain, you invite more negativity into your life. On the other hand, when you train yourself to find things to be grateful for, you begin to attract more of those very things. Gratitude has a magnetic quality. It pulls more abundance, more joy, and more opportunity into your orbit. It doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes you. Think about relationships. When you express gratitude for the people in your life, they feel valued and appreciated. Gratitude strengthens bonds, builds trust, and deepens connection. On the other hand, when people feel taken for granted, the relationship weakens. A simple thank you, a moment of acknowledgement, a kind word spoken from the heart can turn an ordinary relationship into a lifelong treasure. Gratitude builds bridges where pride and ego would otherwise build walls. Gratitude also has a direct impact on your happiness. Studies show that people who practice gratitude regularly are more optimistic, less stressed, and more fulfilled. But you don't need a study to prove it. You can feel it yourself. The moment you stop and think about what you're thankful for, your mood changes. Your problems don't disappear, but they shrink in size compared to the abundance you already have. Gratitude makes you rich long before money ever does. Another powerful aspect of gratitude is that it keeps you humble. When you recognize the gifts, opportunities, and blessings in your life, you're reminded that you didn't achieve everything on your own. Others helped you along the way. Life opened doors for you. Gratitude grounds you, and humility keeps you open to learning and growth. The proud are closed off, but the grateful are receptive, and receptivity allows more good to flow in. Practicing gratitude doesn't need to be complicated. You can start by writing down 3 things you're grateful for each day. You can pause in the morning and say, thank you for waking up, for your breath, for the chance to live another day. You can end the night by reflecting on what went right instead of what went wrong. These small practices rewire your mind over time, training it to see abundance instead of lack. At the heart of it, gratitude turns what you have into enough, and then more. Without it, no matter how much you achieve, you'll always feel something is missing. With it, even the smallest victories feel worth celebrating. Gratitude is not just a habit, it's a way of living. And if you make it a daily practice, you will discover that happiness is not something to chase in the future. It's something you can choose in the present. Planning your day is one of the most powerful disciplines you can develop, because without a plan you drift. A day without a plan often turns into a day lost. Hours slip away into distractions, interruptions, and meaningless activity. But when you take just a few minutes to intentionally design your day, you give yourself direction, focus, and purpose. A well-planned day becomes a well-lived day. And when you string enough of those together, you create a well-lived life. Think about it this way: life rewards the intentional, not the accidental. Success doesn't just fall into your lap. It comes to those who decide in advance how they want to use their time and energy. Time is the one resource you can never get back. You can lose money and earn it again. You can lose opportunities and find new ones. But once a day is gone, it's gone forever. Planning ensures that you spend your time on what truly matters instead of allowing life to push you around. When you plan your day, you create clarity. You know what needs to be done, what can wait, and what isn't worth your attention at all. Most people get overwhelmed, not because they have too much to do, but because they never take the time to organize their tasks. Everything feels urgent when nothing is prioritized. A written plan calms the mind, because it replaces chaos with order. It allows you to focus on the few important things, instead of scattering your energy across countless unimportant ones. Another benefit of planning is momentum. When you wake up and know exactly what to do, you waste no time in hesitation or indecision. You can begin with energy and purpose. Each completed task gives you a small sense of accomplishment, which fuels you to take on the next one. This creates a rhythm of productivity that carries you through the day. On the other hand, if you start without direction, you often end up procrastinating, checking your phone, or being pulled into other people's agendas. Planning also helps you avoid the trap of busyness. Being busy doesn't mean being productive. Many people spend their days in constant motion yet achieve very little because their time is consumed by low-value tasks. A plan forces you to ask, what matters most today? What actions will move me closer to my goals? What can I eliminate or delegate? The discipline of answering these questions separates the achievers from the dreamers. It's important to remember that planning your day doesn't mean controlling every minute. Life will always bring surprises, interruptions, and unexpected challenges. But when you have a plan, you can adapt without losing your way. You can adjust while still keeping your priorities in sight. A plan is a compass, not a cage. It gives you direction, but also flexibility to navigate whatever the day brings. Planning also creates accountability. When your intentions are written down, they become promises to yourself. Breaking a promise to yourself weakens your confidence. Keeping it strengthens your self-respect. Every time you follow through on your plan, you build trust in your own word. You prove to yourself that you are capable of setting a direction and following it. That internal confidence becomes one of your greatest assets. Even just 15 minutes of planning in the morning or the night before can transform how you experience your day. It can mean the difference between wasting hours in distraction or investing them in growth. It can mean the difference between constantly reacting to life or taking control of it. At the end of your life, you will not remember every little distraction you gave your time to. You will remember the meaningful work, the progress, the relationships, and the impact you made. All of that begins with how you choose to spend your days. And how you spend your days begins with a plan. If you want to live with purpose, start by planning with purpose. One well-planned day at a time will lead you to a life of clarity, achievement, and fulfillment. Relationships are one of the greatest treasures you can ever build in life. Success, no matter how much you achieve, feels empty if you have no one to share it with. Wealth, recognition, and accomplishments are important, but without strong relationships, they lose much of their meaning. The people around you, your family, your friends, your mentors, your colleagues, are not just part of your journey, they are the very fabric of your life. Investing in relationships is not optional if you want a life of fulfillment, it is essential. Every meaningful relationship begins with time and attention. Too many people say they value relationships, but their actions show otherwise. They are too busy chasing success, too caught up in their routines, and they forget to pause and give the people they love the gift of presence. But presence is more valuable than presence. A conversation, a moment of listening, an act of encouragement, these small investments compound into bonds that last a lifetime. Neglect, on the other hand, creates distance. Relationships, like gardens, don't die overnight. They wither slowly when they are not watered with care and attention. When you invest in relationships, you're not just giving to others, you're also giving to yourself. Human beings are wired for connection. Love, trust, and support strengthen your spirit and give you resilience in hard times. When life throws challenges at you, it is often the people beside you who give you the strength to keep going. No one succeeds alone. Behind every great achievement is a network of people. Mentors who gave wisdom, friends who gave encouragement, and loved ones who gave support. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to invest in relationships is through gratitude and appreciation. Everyone wants to feel valued. Everyone wants to know they matter. A kind word, a thank you, or acknowledging someone's effort can turn an ordinary moment into something unforgettable. The people in your life are not mind readers. They don't always know how much you care unless you show it. Expressing appreciation is like adding fuel to a fire. It keeps the connection warm and alive. Listening is another powerful investment. Too many people hear, but very few truly listen. Listening means giving someone your full attention, without distraction, without judgment. It means caring enough to step into their world and understand their perspective. When you listen deeply, you make people feel seen and heard, and that is one of the greatest gifts you can give. Relationships also require forgiveness. No one is perfect, and even the best people will disappoint you at times. If you hold on to every offense, bitterness will build walls where there could have been bridges. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing wrong behavior. It means choosing not to let anger poison your spirit or your connection. Strong relationships are built not on perfection, but on grace, patience, and understanding. It's also important to surround yourself with the right people. Not all relationships help you grow. Some people drain your energy, while others lift you higher. Choose to invest in people who inspire you, challenge you, and support your growth. Be intentional about who you allow into your inner circle, because the people closest to you shape your mindset, your habits, and ultimately, your destiny. When you invest in relationships, you are building a legacy. Long after titles fade and achievements are forgotten, people will remember how you treated them. They will remember the love, the encouragement, the kindness, and the impact you had on their lives. At the end of the day, success is not measured only by what you achieve, but by the relationships you nurture along the way. Make time, show gratitude, listen, forgive, and choose wisely. Treat people as your greatest wealth because they are. Invest deeply in your relationships, and you will never live in poverty of the heart. Discipline is the cornerstone of success, and reflection is what transforms experience into wisdom. Together, they create the foundation for lasting growth. Without discipline, dreams remain nothing more than wishes. Without reflection, even hard work can become wasted effort, because the lessons are never learned. If you want to live a life of achievement and fulfillment, you must practice both. The discipline to act consistently, and the reflection to learn continually. Discipline means doing what needs to be done whether you feel like it or not. Most people rely on motivation, but motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes depending on moods, circumstances, and emotions. Discipline is different. Discipline is steady. It doesn't ask if you feel ready. It simply requires you to show up. Every great accomplishment in history was built not on occasional bursts of energy, but on steady, consistent effort. The body you want, the skills you desire, the wealth you dream of, the relationships you long for, all are built through daily discipline. Discipline is about mastering yourself. It's choosing long-term rewards over short-term comfort. It's saying no to distractions so you can say yes to your goals. It's waking up early when the bed feels warm, going to the gym when you'd rather stay home, reading the book instead of scrolling endlessly, saving money instead of spending it recklessly. These small daily acts of discipline compound into a life of extraordinary results. A single act of discipline may not change your life in a day, but the repetition of it changes your life forever. But discipline alone is not enough. You must also reflect. Reflection is how you take the raw material of your experiences and turn them into lessons. Many people go through the same struggles again and again because they never stop to ask, what did this teach me? What could I have done differently? What will I do better next time? Without reflection, experience is just time passing. With reflection, experience becomes wisdom, and wisdom is what elevates your future decisions. Reflection requires honesty. You cannot grow if you are unwilling to face your own mistakes. Too many people avoid looking back because it makes them uncomfortable. But discomfort is the birthplace of growth. By reviewing your actions, you discover patterns, habits that help you and habits that hurt you. Reflection is not about judgment. It's about learning. It's not about beating yourself up for what went wrong. It's about making sure you don't repeat it tomorrow. The combination of discipline and reflection creates progress. Discipline moves you forward, and reflection makes sure you're moving in the right direction. Without discipline, you stagnate. Without reflection, you repeat the same errors. Together, they make you unstoppable. Imagine ending each day with a few minutes of reflection. You ask yourself, what did I accomplish today? Where did I fall short? What did I learn? What can I do better tomorrow? That small practice, repeated daily, will sharpen your awareness and accelerate your growth more than years of blind action ever could. Discipline also builds confidence. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, you strengthen your belief in your own word. Reflection deepens that confidence, because you see how far you've come and how much you've learned. The two together create a cycle of growth. Discipline fuels progress, reflection fuels wisdom, and wisdom fuels even greater discipline. At the end of the day, success is not about doing one great thing once. It's about doing small things consistently and learning from them continuously. Discipline makes sure you show up. Reflection makes sure you grow up. Practice them both daily, and you will not only achieve your goals, but also become the kind of person capable of sustaining them.